The weather is a really important part of everyday life for many people. And when it comes to fairly extreme weather, as we're having today, a lot of us are really interested in how bad it is and how bad it's going to get. So you can see it's absolutely pouring down with rain at the moment. This is the tail end of a cyclone, which is some distance from here, but we're getting the after effects of it. We've had 150 millimeters of rain in the last 2 days, and obviously we're getting a lot more today to add to it. So I thought I'd take this opportunity just to talk about a really useful topic that you can adopt in your classroom for teaching primary students, and that is the weather itself, and specifically rain and measuring rainfall. Now, rain of course is a liquid, and so we might, if we didn't know better, we might assume that we'll measure the rain in litres, because that's how we measure liquids. But of course that depends on the area of land that the rain is falling on, and so you can't just say this is the number of litres of rain that have fallen without saying over a certain area. So one thing I like to do is to do that sort of calculation and say, well, on your house block or on the school grounds perhaps, how much water actually fell. And the thing that I've been surprised with when I've done that is it's amazing how much has fallen. And if you had to buy this much water, it would cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, because obviously water has a cost with it. So this free rain that we get, free water from the sky, is an incredibly valuable resource. Anyway, on to measuring the rain. This is one design. It's quite a common one in Australia for measuring the amount of rain. And of course what we're measuring is the depth. It's got a funnel design, so if I can balance the umbrella without getting wet, there's a funnel at the top which has a nice wide opening. It's about 10 centimeters across, small opening in the bottom of course, flows into this tube, and inside is a smaller tube, and this has a multiplying effect. So because of the size of the funnel compared to the size of the tube, 1 millimeter of rain falling through the funnel becomes 1 centimeter of depth in the small tube. So there are markings on this tube that go up to 26 at the very top, and that is 26 millimeters of rain, even though the tube itself is 10 times as high as that. So that allows us to measure even quite small depths, like 0.5 millimeter is not difficult to measure with an arrangement like that. So if you have an example of a rain gauge that you can show your students, you can investigate that with them. If you were to measure with just a straight-sided cylinder, like an empty tin can or something like that, you could show the students how difficult it is to actually measure the depth without some way of multiplying it in a form like this. So let me just put that down. So there's quite a range of topics that you can investigate with your students to do with the amount of rain that's falling. As I said, once you've measured the depth, then you could multiply that by the area, knowing that 1 millimeter of rain over 1 square meter will give us 1 litre of rain. So there's a nice simple conversion that we can do. And the other thing we can add to that is 1 litre of water weighs 1 kilogram. So we can actually work out how heavy that amount of water is, and be very glad that this amount of rain falling isn't falling in one big lump, because it will be too heavy. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to go inside out of the rain. I wish you well with this topic with your students.